Unit 7, Lesson 1. Step 3 in the PBL process, brainstorming. This lesson looks at what is brainstorming, the problems with brainstorming, how to overcome these issues, and how to facilitate brainstorming sessions. What is brainstorming? Brainstorming in problem-based learning involves generating ideas or potential solutions to the problem which was defined. This step is completed by the PBL group of learners. However, the facilitator must be aware of the approach to ensure that the learners successfully complete this stage. Brainstorming has been around since 1942 and was first identified by Osborne. However, as with most approaches, it has advantages and limitations. It has been shown to enhance communication, innovation and decision making, but if not done correctly, it can inhibit the generation of ideas. Problems with brainstorming. Some research has shown that working in groups can actually make us less creative. Often those conducting the brainstorming sessions are unaware of the issues that people face and the availability of structured approaches. The main issues in brainstorming are groupthink. This is where individuals feel under pressure to make a decision in a particular time, and as a result they do not correctly evaluate alternative solutions to reach a unanimous decision. This is particularly prevalent in groups consisting of like-minded people that do not have different perspectives. Social loafing. This is where individuals working in a group exert less effort than they would alone. There are a number of different reasons. The individual might feel their contribution to the group doesn't matter because it's such a large group. Sometimes in large group sizes, individuals feel lost. It can also be due to lack of motivation. This has two factors that must be addressed: that the goal is easy to attain and that the goal is being perceived as valuable. Sometimes also, individuals feel that they will be allocated a large amount of work while others have very little, but will still get the same reward. Procedural issues. This is the process by which the brainstorming is conducted. For example, if the brainstorming process only permits one person to generate ideas at a time, there is often a wait time for other participants. This might result them in changing their mind about voicing their idea, or sometimes they might forget what they had to say. It's important that the correct procedure is used to reduce such issues. While working in a group, there can also be interpersonal issues. Personal constraints such as personality, social anxiety, the mood of the individual, the presence of authority figures, the gender balance and cultural issues all have an impact on the brainstorming and must be addressed. Overcoming brainstorming issues. There are a number of different ways which you can overcome these issues. Firstly, introduce some individual idea generation. A study conducted on various approaches to idea generation and brainstorming found that asking each participant to write down their ideas individually generated more ideas than participants vocalising their ideas, due to sometimes the wait time associated with it. If done anonymously, it allows those with introvert personalities and social anxiety to express their ideas in a different manner. Electronic brainstorming has also proven to be effective. In problem-based learning, the ICT platform developed by the Archimedes project provides an electronic means for individuals to brainstorm ideas. The second method of overcoming these issues is using a facilitator. Research has shown that brainstorming groups with a trained facilitator outperformed non-facilitator groups. The facilitator recognises different personality types and ensures the correct process is followed to reduce issues. They prevent individuals from straying from the task at hand and identify creativity fatigue. They can identify ideas which not have been fully discussed and reintroduce them later when there's a lull in the discussion. This can stimulate further ideas. Encouraging individuals to be critical and question ideas. To reduce groupthink, putting together a multidisciplinary group which have multiple perspectives of a problem and encouraging them to be critical and questioning ideas rather than accepting each idea overcomes issues with groupthink. This should be done in the evaluation stage of the brainstorming. Lastly, using a structured approach can overcome many of the issues. Often brainstorming is conducted in a very haphazard manner. Ideas are often presented and discussed simultaneously. Time is not allocated to certain stages and certain individuals dominate the session. Using a structured approach identified by various researchers can reduce these effects. We will examine these in the next lesson. How to facilitate a brainstorming session for problem-based learning. The discussion leader should take this role, however it's necessary to understand the main steps as you'll be required to support the discussion leader if they need assistance. Firstly, the discussion leader should summarise the problem definition so the learner is clear what has been brainstormed. Each individual should be encouraged to write down their solutions. This can be done before the meeting on the ICT platform. Generally, the time allocated to idea generation is approximately 20 minutes. It should be emphasised there is no criticism of ideas until the next stage, and no ideas are too unusual. To stimulate your ideas, you could use an idea generation checklist such as Scamper looks at substituting from the problem, combining different ideas to solve the problem, modifying the process to overcoming the problem, eliminating elements of the problem or process, and rearrange or reversing the steps in the problem. The learner can use one of these approaches to develop a solution. If there is a period in which you think the learners are struggling to come up with ideas, you can use this tool. Asking each individual to articulate their ideas. At this point, learners are asked not to critique or evaluate ideas. Ideas should be recorded on a whiteboard or flip chart. It's important that you do not allow individuals to dominate the conversation. Individuals should be asked to state their ideas. If they deviate from the topic, the facilitator should interrupt. For example, when the individual says the word because, you know they're going to expand, so you should stop the individual there and ask them to move on. Each idea should be discussed to explain what is meant by that idea. Again, ideas should not be evaluated or critiqued. The facilitator should make note of ideas that are not fully explained. These can be introduced when there is a quiet period in the discussion to stimulate further discussion. Individuals should be encouraged to question ideas in terms of their feasibility and to understand them. Once ideas have been fully developed, they should be classified. In the next lesson, we will look at Step 4, Classification and Evaluation.